As we're all aware, the world is a very strange place at the moment. If at the start of the year someone had told me I would be taking at least 2 months off work and the government would advise us to keep 2 metres apart, I would have thought they were mad. And it's a very stressful time. People worried about getting sick, they're worried about their jobs, they're worried about keeping their homes. But now we've got something else to panic about. In an interview with a UK newspaper, a Buddhist priest called Paul Devlin, although Paul doesn't sound a very Buddhist name, in fact Paul is pretty much the most Christian name you can have, apart from the name Jesus, but in the UK, Europe and North America, parents tend not to call their sons Jesus, although in other countries it is quite a common name. Jesus loves you is a great thing to hear in church, not so good if you're in a Mexican prison. So what is it that Paul the Buddhist thinks we should be mindful of? Well, he says due to the coronavirus pandemic, there's much more negative energy, and this is leading to a huge increase in demonic possessions. Isn't that just fucking typical? We're all feeling a bit run down, so it's more likely we'll be taken over by agents of Satan. Apparently people who are bitter, pessimistic and have a general negative outlook on life are more likely to be possessed. If that were the case, the UK would be twinned with hell. Now, Paul the Buddhist is also an exorcist, and he says he's considering carrying out exorcisms via Skype. There's a couple of things here. Does it mean that the demon currently possessing someone can operate a mobile phone? And if that is the case, then when the exorcism begins, won't they just hang up? The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ... Oh no, the call's ended. If you've seen any of my videos before, you may be aware that I'm an ordained minister. And I've been ordained for well over a month. However, even though it makes for some really good horror films, most people know there's no such thing as demonic possession. Sadly, there are people who will have a combination of acute mental illnesses and seizures, and it's understandable why in the past people thought they were possessed by demons. But given that we now understand psychology and psychiatry, anyone claiming to carry out exorcisms, particularly for money, is just exploiting people when they're at the most vulnerable. I do apologise for being a bit preachy there. I shall now get off my soapbox. Also, I've wandered off my usual walk and I've got no fucking idea where I am. But I'm fairly certain if I keep walking that way, I'm going to get raped and murdered. Right, to lighten the mood, I read another story today about an American minister who's found a way to carry out blessings despite the lockdown. Father Tim Pelk from Michigan is carrying out socially distanced religious services by standing outside of his church while his parishioners slowly drive past. And they are then blessed when the priest shoots them with a water pistol full of holy water. Doesn't he sound like an absolute legend? And I love the way he solved the problem of his parishioners not being able to go to church in the most American way imaginable, by using a combination of cars and guns. In Britain we just queue. That's my walk done for the day. I'll now go back to staring endlessly at the walls.